So it is Monday, June 2023. And we will call to order the Village of Somerset Public Safety Meeting at 5:30 p.m. So present in the hall, we have
Just Maria.
Chris Duback,
Gotcha.
and we will take a few minutes to review the May 8th and May 23rd minutes.
So we have to just receive them, my understanding. I'll make a motion to receive the minutes as written. Yeah, I'll second.
So moving on to, I'm sorry, do we have to do it all in favor?
Yes.
And that would be aye.
Aye.
So moving on to public comment on agenda items. Is there any public comment online? Or in the gallery?
I don't see any hands raised or any comments.
I think we can move on to new business then. Discussion, possible recommendation, temporary Class B fermented malt beverages retailer's license for Apple River Cruisers, August 5th, 2023. So we'll take a look over the application.
Everything look good, dear chief?
Mhm. The specific time period.
They usually put a time on that, Joel, or?
This isn't a form that I usually, deal with. Looks like there is no spot for like the background check or anything like that, but, I would think a time wouldn't be unreasonable to have on something like this. I'm not really sure if it calls for one on this specific form. Yes, spot for it.
Dates.
And I got on that, we'll make a recommendation to approve the temporary Class B fermented malt beverage retailer license for Apple River Cruisers for August 5th, 2023, with the caveat of them letting us know time as well before going to the full board.
We don't second?
All in favor?
Aye.
On to unfinished business, discussion, Somerset Community Market Fest updates.
Went off without a hitch. Yeah, great feedback. We've got 10 vendors confirmed for this Thursday.
Wow.
Each of the 3 locations that are serving alcohol will be checking ID each time they're serving,
Mhm.
but providing a wristband and plastic cups so we can monitor things not being brought in that are of alcoholic nature. And we are going to be bringing, Raska is providing porta potties we'll be bringing in, and they are covering that charge for us. And everyone's ready to go. So great feedback from the weekend though. Everything went great.
Fantastic. Anything you would change or would like us to help change or anything like that?
No, everything went fabulous and the setup was good. You know, I guess my concern will be monitoring traffic flow with people walking back and forth, but we'll just see how that goes and keep everyone safe in the interim and
Okay. Great. Any problems over the weekend with that related?
No, Market Fest, by the time I went over to get some lunch, it seemed like everyone kind of cleared out. The clouds kind of came in and,
they were scheduled till 2.
okay,
So they took full advantage of the 1 to 2 timeframe.
I got you. Yep. No, a lot of people showed up for the parade and I'm sure people stayed around and mingled afterwards. A lot of foot traffic down there.
Good to keep them on Main Street for a change. Usually Pea Soup Days, the parade's done and everybody scatters over to the fair site. So it's good to have people in town.
Great,
Awesome. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
definitely looking forward to this Thursday then.
Yes.
Wonderful, okay, so let's go ahead and move on to municipal courts. We're going to take a look at the budget report. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I talked to her earlier. She said she wasn't gonna be on.
I was just trying, what's the court other expenses at? It's like at 7%.
Same question.
But she's not here. Maybe it's one of those things where at the beginning of the year, they take a big hit right away. kind of, some years.
Yeah.
Different types of subscriptions or services that charge up front.
Yep. It looks good.
And then. We're going to report, correct?
What's
I
that?
don't need to.
Yeah, we're just looking at over.
Any questions or concerns of it?
No, just that one, but
Okay. I think for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Then why don't we go ahead and move on to the police department budget report?
training going good, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of referenced it previously that we were kind of training heavy at the beginning of the year. There was a in-service coming up in Rice Lake that we're all gonna go through DAT, but only the ones that missed the previous in-service will go through the full 24 hours.
Nope.
We will exceed the 24-hour expectation that the state has on us through a state statute, so
Good.
we're doing good. We are developing our in-house training a lot more too. So it's something I think it's important to invest heavily in and
Absolutely.
we're doing it.
Nice. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Well, the time goes up, but it should be starting to get a little better, huh?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you know, when we start working concerts, if our overtime, because we get reimbursed through the venue.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's reflected in this budget or not, but I think that would be kind of an outlier if
Right.
you know, that's reflected on this budget, but the refund isn't, you know?
Oh, sure.
So that's something I should probably get some clarification on from Andrea, but
Yeah,
yeah,
at least so we could see it, right? Or so people can see. it.
right, right.
Yeah. I didn't have any other questions. You guys?
No.
please give us a brief report?
So yeah, the May incident reports were, I thought they were attached. They're not in the packet.
Yes.
Yeah, thinking you're-
Oh, I'm sorry, should we review those first?
They might not be in there.
Wait, they're not. I was able to review them. An email.
I did forward them to Andrea. Hmm,
Were you, Chris, were you able to review them at all? or-
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I mean, it was fairly in line with, what we've been doing. I consider us to be busy, very steady.
Yeah,
And, that continues.
Have you had any real huge problems as far as the split in the town?
No,
I mean, I suppose it takes a little bit of time, but
at first it was kind of nice to stretch your legs a little bit and get from one side to the other, and now it's become annoying. You know, there's been times where we've actually ridden a bike across to get somewhere quicker.
yep,
There's times where we walked across. We're coordinating with the DOT on their plans on escorting EMS rigs through, finding out the best possible path. So we're working through it.
nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna suck this summer, but hopefully it'll be a lot better after it's all done and fixed.
Mhm. Okay.
Should we move on to department activities?
Yes, please.
So, we've been doing a lot of concert planning and, working with the sheriff's office. I reached out to our village attorney to try to draw up a memo of understanding for, mutual aid response for outside agencies beyond the sheriff's office. So that's something that's still in the works. It's essentially something that protects us and them from, you know, insulates us from a little liability from that regard. But, you know, at the same time, if we're gonna be having 5 concerts a year, we can't really have this all call expectation and burning out our guys too, especially if there's other agencies who are excited to get involved and have the resources and means to do that. We certainly want to invite them in to participate. So Live Nation also owns another property, or I don't know if they own it, or they run shows out of Alpine Valley in southeastern Wisconsin. Walworth County, we reached out to them, their sheriff's office, to kind of see how they bring in numbers of how many officers to event core ratios and stuff like that. We've also reached out to Chippewa County. I think they have a big country music festival out there. So working closely with the sheriff's office. I think it's just gonna be Somerset PD and the sheriff's office for this first event, which is Outlaw Fest, coming up on Friday, June 23rd. So I gave you guys the packet. You know, one of the big things is traffic, what we're gonna do with egress and ingress with the bridge being closed. So I kind of, the first page has kind of like what lots are being used for parking. So the yellow is parking area. There's gonna be camping at this Outlaw Fest, and that's in orange. The second page here is the egress plan. So essentially, we have 2 main arteries that we're getting folks out of. There's gonna be 3 egress positions from the venue. So the Somerset Amphitheater and Fleur Drive, all those folks are gonna go west to 3564. There's gonna be another exit onto Main Street at First National Bank there. They're gonna be getting sent east on Main Street, down south on Depot Street, over to Klucher, and then south on County Road I. St. Clair County Highway Shop's involved with this as well, or the Highway Department, I should say. They essentially said that the venue should be paying a third-party vendor to install hard signs and variable message boards. And the company is doing that. So That's a development plan as of this week. The designated detour for the folks being sent on County Road I. It's gonna be south on County Road I, to County Road E, west on E. Well, they have a choice at that point, whether they want to go west on E, go to back to 64. Or to 36 to go into Minnesota, or if they want to continue south to I-94. It's up to them at that point, but it's gonna be a signed detour. So then there's another lot that's ADA and preferred parking, which is gonna be getting sent out south on Spring Street. And those folks are also gonna go south on I to that designated detour. So, during this, we presented 3 different options for egress plan. This is one that was agreed upon by Lake County Highway Shop, Sheriff's Office, the venue, and now this third-party vendor that essentially that's what they do for a living is they do construction detours, they sign roads for that, they do parades, they do events, so. Yeah, good.
Well being handled, so good to hear.
Yeah, this is much more involved than we've been in years past. Also, like another side point is we're getting additional signs made up for village parking. So village parking on days of events can be limited to residents only. And we're gonna have signs at every intersection along Spring Street and Main Street, in addition to any roads coming into the village. And this has worked well in years past. The signs are gonna be deployed by the venue. With the assistance or at the direction of law enforcement, so. It'll give us a little bit more ability to hit some of those pinch points. This morning I got a message from another trustee that said the intersection of Spring Street and Parnell was down to 1 lane and kind of an unsafe situation, and we need no parking signs there last year. We're taking notes from our Peace Soup days this year to improve next year, but we certainly don't want that happening on the day of the venue. Last year, we had issues with people parking wherever they wanted, the signs weren't deployed. And it also created a nightmare for egress too, trying to get people out. Because now you have to deal with pedestrian traffic and vehicle traffic. So this should be a smoother plan altogether. Keyword should be.
It looks like they have plenty of parking.
Yes,
Site.
yep. So one of the orange campgrounds is actually an overflow parking spot too, if they do run out of parking. So that's there as well. It'd be South Camping is the overflow. Sounds good. I know that there was some discussion about who's gonna put the signs out, who's gonna pay for that, whether Public Works is gonna do that. All signs are gonna be dealt with either by the venue or the third party company. Which according to the St. Clair County Highway Department, like their state statute that supports the venue being responsible and required to do that. Cool.
Looks like you covered all the bases.
We can only prepare as much as we can, and then the day of the event, there's gonna be some planning and things happen, and we will address it to the best of our ability and learn from it and improve more of the next year.
Great. For the next event.
Great, yes, the next event.
All right, thank you for the update. So now we have police and court bills.
They didn't change the oil in Tesla, right?
What's that? There's a lot of Tesla comics at the parade.
Really?
Yeah,
Good.
I mean,
Bad?
mostly positive.
Yeah.
One guy came up to me and we had like a 40-minute conversation afterward about it. Yeah, apparently he's in the market himself for an electric vehicle and
Nice.
But, you know, there's also other comments, so.
Yep.
The question was, his introduction to me was like, how can the village afford a Tesla? And I was like, well, how can a municipality not afford not to have a Tesla? Like, when you look at the savings over the life of the vehicle. So, and I have agencies reaching out on a weekly basis, asking questions. I don't know why ours is such a use case scenario for people, but, they're like, hey, either their administration, their board's pushing them into, hey, we gotta start exploring this, and or, you know, they're just looking out for ways to save money and they wanna know how we're doing, and I'm happy to provide feedback, and we're only at about 8,000 miles on our Tesla right now, but, compared to our Ford Explorer, which I keep telling people, you know, it was in the shop probably for a total of 3 weeks now. We just had the most recent one was a warranty work for, injectors that had to come from Detroit. Prior to that, there was some seal that broke above the transfer case that started smelling like smoke. I know in Richmond PD, just, they had to get an engine replaced in one of their Ford Explorers. It seems like this 2020 and beyond generation has been problematic. But people don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Those look good to me.
Me as well.
No question. Hey, doing any people are agenda?
I'm
Good.
not either, I mean, other than, good to hear from the Mark Fest. As we go through the summer, but I don't know that that needs to necessarily be on the agenda.
Maybe, I guess I would prefer to hear one more, especially on a Thursday, as long as the times and all that stuff, see how that works out
Okay,
during the week. So I guess if we can keep them on there, that'd be great for the next time.
okay.
One more month. I guess.
Yeah, after this weekend, the big
Yeah.
weekend, right?
There's-
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay,
I'd like to see that at least.
so would you like to make a motion?
I would, I'd like. to make a
Could
motion.
we make a motion to hear him?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is that, if we can get a second, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to see if Jerry Sullivan wanted to make a statement.
Open up public comment, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was stuck in traffic.
No
I
worries.
apologize.
That's good. Go ahead, sir. You got 2 minutes per person or 14 minutes per topic.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Jerry Sullivan, Somerset. In the interest of public safety, I thought it was advantageous to show up and speak my mind. Pea Soup Days, I was picking up equipment from one of the events on Saturday night at 5:52 PM. And as I finished loading the truck and proceeded up Spring Street at Garfield just before Sportsman's, one of the sitting members of the village crossed the street, jumped onto my truck. My window was down. He grabbed the brace or bar on the front of the truck. As the moving truck, my truck was moving, I put the brakes on, he fell off into oncoming traffic. And a witness, as he fell off after I braked, he fell into oncoming traffic, into another truck, pushed himself off the truck. And at that point, I was coming up to the red light. After he fell off, I proceeded to go forward. I'm at the red light and 2 people are coming out of Sportsman's. One of them's the chamber president and her husband, and they had words with this person. Mike Cappers was the one that jumped onto the moving truck. And as I hit the red light, I took a right. The witness, I wrote his license plate down. I didn't get a name. Is this the kind of conduct? Is this acceptable conduct? Is this misconduct by a sitting member of the village? I proceeded to call police. I felt threatened. Who wouldn't? Made a report and decided I would show up tonight. Is this acceptable? Is it criminal? Is it acceptable? I think it's gross misconduct. Representing the village here for a sitting member, I think it's gross misconduct, and I believe that something should be done. In the least. In the least, it should be addressed. That's what I came to say.
So is this something that we can have put on the main or the actual village board meeting?
Well, I think it's certainly appropriate you file a police report if you feel threatened.
I did.
Certainly. I don't know that that's something that we can decide as a committee.
I'm not sure.
I would prefer to leave it in the hands of law enforcement. If they feel there's enough proof to press charges,
Mhm,
then maybe that's the avenue to go.
mhm.
But thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Right, and I certainly think this needs to move forward. We need to have some discussion, certainly. I just don't know that there's any action we have to take.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely it needs to be brought to light. It's like that.
Yeah, it was the first time I heard about it.
Like this.
All right, thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you.
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Chris Dubek, second.
Thanks, Jerry.
At 5:57.